New season of Deadliest Catch, Captains Keith Colburn and Johnathan Hillstrand team up to fight their competitors.
Johnathan and Keith pulled the trigger on an unlikely alliance.
Yo, Roadrunner.
Getting ready to set right now. I'll be dropping the anvil on our nemesis.
Okay, sounds good. Putting up with Keith Colburn, the guys on the Wizard. It's an unlikely pair, but stranger things have happened.
With rival boats moving in, the Wizard and the Time Bandit join forces to block them out.
Wow.
Here they are.
Well, that's a little funner than what we've done in the past, isn't it, John?
Our crews have fought in bar rooms, and my brother broke a guitar over his brother's head.
That's very sweet. We were both watching yesterday when you were on
and then now we're teamed up.
When you were on Studio 11, you said the best bar fight took place and the camera guys were not there.
What? Yeah.
Huh?
And that was the one you were talking about.
The camera guys are so unhappy with themselves they didn't get this fight.
Yeah. What?
You have to do
on
it
tape.
You can't have the cameras on 24 hours a day.
This is really stuff that really happens. Yeah. It's not scripted or nothing. So they just try to run around and
you know, everybody asks
you
the same question. They want to sometimes say that you're like pro wrestling. You know, these things are set up.
No.
It's what God's the director or whatever that weather does to you.
Yeah, how do you script Mother Nature?
Yeah, you don't want no one to get hurt. We don't want nothing.
You guys like each other?
Actually, we're good friends now.
Yeah.
Now.
You ever have a guy where you first met him when you were a kid and you get in a fight and then you turn out to be best friends?
Yeah.
That's sort of like what happened.
How many seasons did it take for you to become good friends?
We probably only had about a year or so where we're really, year and a half where we really didn't like each other very much at all.
All right, I got a question. Because I watch the show, and you guys are all nuts. Let me just say that, okay? I say that in the kindest way. Yeah.
You're brave.
Are you born to be that way, or does the job make you want to be out there?
You have to be an adventurer.
I think, it's something that you're kind of born into. I mean, there's definitely a genetic flaw in our DNA.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, you obviously crave adrenaline.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself at risk of death every time you're out there, right? There's no messing around with what happens out there.
It's pretty much when we go to work, there's always that chance.
That chance.
And, I mean, we try to keep it as small as possible and try to do everything we can to be safe, but we get
caught in that superstorm, Nauru, and we can't. We're so far out there. People go, "Why don't you just go to port?" Well, it's faster than us.
Well, you're very slow, though.
When we hear about a storm, it's going to hit us in less than a day.
How fast can you go?
About 8 or 9 knots.
Maybe 10.
The storm's coming up the Aleutian chain. It was the hugest storm in the history for 100 years or something, and we're just caught in it.
Yeah. But is there? I mean, maybe part of the explanation is there a better feeling in the world when you've gotten through it and you all look at each other after?
There's no question. That's the best feeling of all time.
And you bond like your boat.
Yeah.
You bond together like a.
How many times have you thought to yourself when you've been caught up in one of the worst storms, oh my God, this might be it?
There's been a couple of times.
6 or 7 times for me.
6 or 7?
Yeah.
And you keep going.
I go, this is what it's like to die. We're going to go to Davy Jones' locker.
Are you expecting to die this way?
No way.
No.
We wouldn't go out there.
Yeah, knock on wood. Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
You guys are fun.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the king crab. I love crab.
It's so good.
Oh, so good.
Have you ever had it fresh? Like we can't explain it.
Not as fresh as you have.
Not as fresh.
We get it right out of the pot into the boiling pot. Right out of our crab pot.
Stuff.
How much? I mean, what's the most expensive one you've sold?
Oh. I did an event recently I saw Robert Kennedy Jr. was on the news.
Yeah.
At his event, actually Waterkeeper Alliance. And I had a whole 10-pound cooked king crab there.
Yeah.
And it auctioned off for $5,000.
What?
10
$5 grand.
Wow.
Did somebody eat it or they just put it on the
wall?
No,
I actually prepared it for them tableside afterwards and they ate the crab. It was awesome.
But we get about $60 or $70 a crab at the dock.
Yeah. Oh.
It's about an average.
Yeah.
You guys, you're hardcore fishermen, but you're also television stars. It's like a weird combination.
Do you realize
we forget that
Come on, you realize that now.
We forget,
11 seasons.
and then we get reminded because we go do our job and the cameras are everywhere.
Yeah.
So you forget about them. And then
How long does it take? In terms of, the cameras are there, you're a little self-conscious at first. How long does it take to the point where you forget it?
Well, the thing is, we're surrounded by electronics. I mean, just surrounded by them. And then there's one little camera right there. So if the producer's not filming, you're just doing your job. That camera disappears.
Yeah. You forget it's there.
So it's not like, okay, let's go for a lunch break. You have work to do.
Yeah, there's no okay.
Yeah. That's the difference.
There's no
between
you can't go cut.
Okay, go find another wave, would you?
They make the first mistake of falling asleep and not staying up with us, and they'll miss something, and then they'll never make that mistake again. These guys will stay up for hours.
And what is the? You guys hang in your job? Do the camera people hang in their jobs, or do they?
How many camera guys do you go through?
We went through 10 this year.
10
on my
this
boat.
year.
I don't know how many.
We managed to keep our 2 guys for the whole season.
So are they part of the family?
Yeah, you know, they have to incorporate.
couple
they have
of
to
them
become our friends to a certain degree. Otherwise, there's no way we're going to answer
wait,
their
I have a
questions.
question. So you got one team for the whole season. You have 10. What is wrong with you?
I went out for Christmas and New Year's, and one of them said their back hurt. A lot of them come out there, they want Deadliest Catch on their resume. I filmed Deadliest Catch, and they come out and they don't expect it. They don't know what they're in for.
All of a sudden, they realize
they
that the
stay up
boat's
for 40
it's
hours
actually a moving platform.
Well, if
it's not stable anymore.
If they've been on other reality shows, they have a sort of a mindset. All right, we'll set this up.
We're gonna have a lunch. No, we're not.
What do your families
It's been 12 hours
think
since
of?
we ate. We're not sleeping for another 20. And they're going, what?
What do your families think of what you're doing, and the fact they can watch and see exactly what you're doing?
They want me to quit when they finally see what I
bet.
do.
Well, and that's the thing, you know, for years I was able to go home and basically say, the weather kind of sucked, you know, it was no big deal. Now you go home and it's like the kids are like, oh my God, Dad.
Grandma's going, you're going to sell that boat.
You guys have end dates in mind when you're going to wrap it up?
I don't know.
I got a couple more years.
I've got a few more years in me. I keep thinking this is going to be my last. You know what? At the end of every season, I'm like, okay, this is my last season.
Right. Yeah.
And then the fall
I don't
comes.
know how many people said that I'm
Yeah,
retiring,
no
and you
kidding,
see them back next year.
Season 11,
good
Deadliest
to
Catch.
see you.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Great guys. Thanks for coming in.
Premieres tonight at 9 on the
this-
Discovery Channel.
with